I'm about to ruffle some feathers with this one, but Islam granted women more rights than Christianity and Judaism. Keep in mind, I'm comparing religion to religion, not modern Western interpretation of religion. The first right Islam granted women that they didn't previously have was right to property. According to Numbers 27, Christianity and Judaism did not allow women to inherit property unless there were no sons to do so. And this was the practice for centuries. Even if a woman did end up inheriting property later on, it became her husband's property once she became married. But in Islam, in Surah An-Nisa verse 7, it states that men and women are to inherit a share of property. Women were also allowed rights to their own money, and their husband had no rights to it, according to Surah An-Nisa verse 32. The next right granted to women in Islam was rights to consent in marriage. In many religions, for a very long time, marriages were arranged by the woman's father, and she had no say in it. This comes from Deuteronomy book 22, verses 28 to 29. In Judaism and Christianity, arranged marriages like this were a common practice for centuries. But in Islam, no marriage is valid without consent of both parties. This is evidenced by Surah An-Nisa verse 19 and several hadith. There is also no demonization of women in Islam. In the Bible, Timothy 2:14 has been used as a means to say women have some weak moral compass and demonize them and blame them for the fall of humanity for centuries. But in the Quran, there's actually no blame placed on Eve individually. Surah Al-A'raf places blame on both Adam and Eve, giving both equal blame. And of course, we have the right to education. In Islam, education is mandatory for both men and women. According to Surah Al-Alaq verse 1, Surah Al-Zumar verse 9, and several hadith. Knowledge is mandatory in Islam, and women were actually scholars, students, leaders, and the first university in the world was opened by a Muslim woman. Fatima al-Fihri opened the first university in Morocco in 859 CE. Comparing this to the New Testament of the Bible, you will see that women were limited from roles like that. 1 Timothy 2:12 says, I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. And 1 Corinthians 14:34-35 says that women should stay silent in the churches. So going off of religious text alone, it becomes very clear that Islam did grant women far more rights than the books of Judaism or Christianity. I will be following up this video with some other rights that Islam granted women and answering any questions that people may have. Assalamu alaikum, American who converted to Islam, here to correct what you think you know about Islam, specifically women's rights. I'm going to talk about a few things most people don't know about women in Islam. In Islam, women have been able to take men to court since the inception of Islam, and they won a lot of the time. Early Muslim women sued governors, judges, and even the Caliph himself, and courts took them seriously. Meanwhile, in Christian society, in courts, women were banned from testifying at all. Another interesting piece of information is that most of the top male scholars learned from women. Women would run study circles with hundreds of men learning from them. Meanwhile, Christian women were banned from teaching theology. Women also fought in battle alongside the Prophet. Al-Dahab and Nusayba bint Ka'b are very well known to have fought in battles with the Prophet. Meanwhile, in Christian Europe, women weren't allowed to join the military until the 20th century. This one's probably the hardest for people to accept, but hijab was not invented by Islam. Other groups did give it a different name, but the concept of a head covering isn't original to Islam. It occurred in Jewish, Christian, and Roman cultures as well. And it was a status symbol representing upper-class dignity. People thinking of hijab as oppressive is just historically ignorant. Islamic history is so much deeper than most people realize, and it is far beyond the modern stereotypes that surround it. So which of these facts surprised you the most? Did you know any of these? And do you want to know more? Follow my page for more Islamic facts and Islamic teachings.